Oh, you can tell it's New Year's Eve. Welcome to Bluejay Banter Postgame Show. We're live here at Let It Fly Sports Bar. It's just starting to get rocking here for the New Year's Eve celebration and a celebration of a big Jays win over St. John's, a team that Austin thinks is probably Final Four bound, apparently.
Nope, didn't say that. They got Rick Pitino, though, man. I'm never counting him out.
We're going to discuss that plenty.
Absolutely.
Hey, welcome to the show. Appreciate you joining in. YouTube subscribers, please, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and the like button. It is so important. We are almost to our first goal, so everybody that can hit that subscribe button, please do. Tell all your friends to hit it. It helps us out a ton. Want to thank our great sponsors. Been with us all year. Care Minders Home Health Care and Discount Window and Door of Omaha. We'll talk more about them later. Our guest today, Isaac Trout, who had a nice game.
Yep.
Very nice game for Isaac.
3 or 4.
And then also Lucas Vargas, the video coordinator. I got tons of questions for him because there was tons of things that they were working on that St. John's didn't do. So I'm curious to see how they adjust to that, what they do.
Speaking of my point there.
What's that?
You're touching on a little bit of my point there. They didn't play their game tonight.
Well, okay, all right. We're gonna get right into it. Let's go.
Though,
we're gonna discuss the game until
we need DK for here. We need DK for this one, though. I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I think he need to attest to Pitino.
That's
and
true.
those guys that he has over there.
That's true.
I think Pitino said not too long ago this is one of his best, most talented groups he's ever had. He did.
He's blowing smoke.
I swear.
He's
but if you
blowing
just
smoke.
watch them
Are you
from
serious?
eye test.
Louisville, Kentucky teams.
Yes,
are you
from eye test.
Crazy.
The players he has.
Crazy. That's a crazy statement.
Big guards.
Big guards.
Couple NBA caliber forwards.
Right. They have big guards, but here's the deal. They don't have a legit big man, though. You know what I'm saying?
They don't.
Now I got to tell you. Who is it? What's the name of the guy that played center tonight for him?
84?
Yeah, 24.
Butchered it.
He was good. He was good. I mean, he was way better from the outside as I thought. He had a very nice looking shot. What the problem was he got one blocked, and then he saw a couple other call got to, and then he was just like very hesitant to shoot. And I think that hurt them. Because I think he could have stretched the floor a little bit, got Kalk out a little further, and then when they went to their backup center, it was over. Like we dominated the play when he was in there.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I also don't think they just got out and played their game. Like compared to their last Big East game against Providence, towards the second half, they were able to start getting out in transition. Their guards were penetrating, getting downhill. We didn't start seeing that until they had to press. I
guess from a bracketology standpoint, this is our problem with St. John's. Like, they played Providence without Hopkins.
Yeah.
Providence without Hopkins is
at
not
home, though.
On
the road, though.
Yeah, but they're not.
I hear what you're saying, but this is still the Big East. So
and then they slopped in a shot at the buzzer. That game could have went the other way. Although today there could have been a whistle blown at the buzzer, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank God we had Ayers down there. Who's like he always lets them play at the buzzer. And the fact that Creighton's got the reputation of not fouling.
Yep.
Even though for a good chunk of that second half, St. John's had more. We had more fouls than St. John's. Yeah. Richmond, I've said this a million times. I'll say it again. I always like when I see him first team all Big East, I'm like, what? Because every time we play them, he does not do well. Like, I think Mac has him somewhat figured out, his defensive scheme. He's like, let him take a tough two. And you can see the free throw line. Dude doesn't have a really good stroke.
He doesn't.
And he makes his.
Though, Tim, I'm telling you, this guy is a talented player.
He makes his hay go into the hole. We don't let him go to the hole.
Yeah.
I think that's.
But when you have
part of it.
Carpenter down there,
right. But even our philosophy is push him out, make him shoot that tough 16-footer over Jemiah, and go from there.
Yep.
Yep. And we've always had a guy, whether it be Baylor, whoever, on him. That's always pushed him out a little bit, and he feels uncomfortable there.
Yeah.
He'd rather get to the hole.
Yeah.
And I just, a couple of, we did a good job on their best shooters. Wiltshire had a bad game tonight.
Yes.
We did a really good job on him.
Absolutely.
I mean, he was our
34
target.
minutes, 6 points.
And I think familiarity, him at Nebraska, we knew what he could do. We're going to go out on him. We're not going to let him shoot that three. Agree?
I would agree on that. Him and Lewis as well. I think Lewis struggled a little bit this game.
Yeah.
Didn't really get it going. But like we said, they didn't shoot too well either. And credit to our matchups and sticking to the game plan. Kept it low-scoring game. Not really games we want to stay around, but we were able to figure one out today.
Right. And, I mean, let's be honest, though. When you turn it over as much as we did and you can't win that ball game, that's not good. I mean, we gave them so many extra possessions.
We did.
I mean, if we shoot 30% on those extra positions, this game's not close.
17 turnovers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And our point guard did not have a good game tonight. Scoring-wise, hit some big threes.
He leveled it.
Leveled it out. As you pointed out when you came in here, he got a double-double, not the one that you want, though.
A little bit of the wrong way.
Yeah.
5 rebounds, though, 4 assists. Some of that's expected, though. He's trying to make something out of nothing.
And like I said, that last play where he got the turnover, I know what he's trying to do there because, like, if the whistle's blowing, then they have to make a three to tie because he's going to make those 2 free throws. I get that. But we just had too many, and Mac really lit into him a couple times like, hey, I know what you're trying to do there, but you're trying to throw a 45-foot pass to Jackson, who, Jackson does a lot of things for us, but he doesn't have the greatest hands right now as a freshman. Yeah, that's a tough catch. Yeah. That's a tough catch for Kalk, okay? So let's not do that. And he made some plays like that tonight that were uncharacteristic of him. He usually, after a couple, he usually doesn't do that.
That's what I'm saying of him playing bigger guard. Some of that he just can't see as well. So he thinks things are there that might not actually be there.
That's your go-to.
Yeah.
That's your go-to.
But it's true.
That's your go-to.
If you're down here
I've learned that.
Trees are here.
I've learned that after about 14 shows with you.
You're like, okay, well, maybe it wasn't there. And then you watch film and you're like, but it was.
But some of those were 50-foot passes, okay? Some of those are 50-foot passes. He can see just fine from 50 feet away.
I know. I'm trying to find him the bit.
You're trying.
I'm trying to get it to him.
I'll give it to you. You're trying. You're trying.
He got the win, so.
We did get the win.
Yes.
And a big win.
We needed it.
Big win.
Absolutely.
Because, without that win, I thought the other guy, too, that let the game come to him, and he's a guy who I thought that was going to be a problem doing, Jemiah. Jemiah let the game come to him tonight. He didn't get much in the first half, but in the second half, man, there was a couple of nasty crossovers he burned guys on.
Playmaking.
And made some great passes. Fedor finally got some meaningful minutes, right? And we saw he can be a real playmaker on the offensive end. He made some sweet passes there.
He's agile, man. And like I said, once he just gets comfortable, I just think that's when, his true offensive nature is going to take over.
Because right now we got one guy. We got Jemiah that can go the hole. Right. Go the hole. Right. Now Fedor. And Fedor showed some ability against some really good defenders because St. John's has good defenders. He showed some ability tonight to get to that hole. And so if we can pair all that together, this is going to be great.
A lot of it, too, is him being a known shooter, right? So
absolutely.
Not really having a whole lot of true tape on him right now. Most teams are going to treat him like just knockdown shooter, run him off the line. So I think he is going to have a lot of opportunity to get in there and play make a little bit.
Can I ask you a question?
What's that?
Totally diverting.
Yeah.
Driving the bus off the road. Do you like the powder blue out? See, here's my deal. I got this 4 days ago for Christmas. Okay. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had one. All right.
Understood. No, I'm.
If you're gonna do that, you gotta have T-shirts on the. If you want a true one,
And I was here around the time where we were thinking about the black jerseys, right? And that was a whole debate and a sore topic. And then eventually, I think they came out with some dark blue ones for a second. But I like more of the darker mold. And
I like the powder blue.
Powder blue to me is North Carolina. Just
I like the way they look.
Through and through.
But that you bring up a great point. I've never understood why they don't have this color.
Right.
Of jersey on a road. Because when I first started following Creighton when I moved here, everybody had a dark blue sweatshirt to this color or a pullover that was this color. and they never had the jersey. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
And you see so many teams going to the black. Look, the other day, Iowa State's playing. They had all black and white jerseys. Yeah. Not even any of their school colors. Like, I don't know why we didn't have that. Oh, speaking of how bad Providence is, they are getting boat raced. They're getting boat raced at home by Marquette. Absolutely getting crushed. All right. Before we bring in our first guest, Lucas Vargas, let's talk about Care Miners Home Health Care. Terrific sponsor of ours throughout the season. You know, home care for your injured, ill, or senior loved one is something you probably don't think about until the need arises, and that's why it's important for you right now to go to careminersnebraska.com over the holidays to figure out what you need and what Care Miners has. That's why your first call should be to 402-532-1383 after you look at the website to get a little more in-depth information of exactly what they can do for you for your injured, ill, or senior loved one, because I'm going to tell you that's going to come up fast on you, and you're not going to know what to do. It's great to have a little bit of context to know what to have to do. So give them a call, 402-532-1383. Jim and his staff over there, big-time Jay supporters. We appreciate them very much. Join us, Mr. Lucas Vargas. Lucas, I know you watch film on St. John's, and you predicted a 57-56 game, right?
Hey, you know, we just trying to win by 1 point, and that's we'll take it, whatever it looks like.
All right, so first thing I want to talk about, and Austin, we haven't even had a chance to discuss this, but I know yesterday in practice I was there. You guys worked so hard in that press. Were you a little shocked they didn't throw that out there until under 2 minutes ago?
They actually haven't shown it quite a ton this season. After free throws, probably more so, or maybe dead balls. But we figured that, you know, they did it in years past, and then you know, we don't have as many ball handlers maybe as some other teams do, and we figured they would try and do it to heat us up a little bit. And honestly, I think it was good for just our overall preparation for the game, to lock us in and to help guys understand the value of the possessions. And I think it was, you know, even though they didn't do it, I still think it was good for us.
Is that the understanding of how important possessions were? Is that going into the 17 turnovers tonight?
Yeah. I mean, obviously we didn't quite take care of them as good as we wanted to, but they weren't. They
didn't blame that on the film guy, did they?
No.
But to your point, though, at the end of the game, I love that formation where you put 4 wide on the sideline and run them across. That got a guy got Jemai open right now.
Yeah, we came up with some unique ideas to try and break the press, and luckily we got to use one of them, I guess.
You know, I've never seen anybody do something like that. That is, again, game planning and a unique idea to get a guy, because usually what do? There's guys on the wing, there's guys in the center, they come forward, they're just all clogged up, and nobody. In this way, there was a lot of room, a lot of options really to go by. So defensively, I thought that was a great effort, especially after they got out to about that 10-point lead in the first half. I thought those next 7-8 possessions, we really cranked up the D, and that got us back in the game.
Yeah, and Big Zuby hit 2 threes early on, and those are 2 unguarded threes that he's able to make. But for the most part, I mean, really awesome execution of the game plan defensively for our guys. I mean, St. John's, we knew coming in, is a team that loves to hunt the mid-range shots. They actually take more shots from the mid-range and, you know, the high paint areas than they do from 3 coming into the season. So it's kind of a unique approach where they are so emphasizing that on offense, and really our defense invites a lot of those shots. So, you know, we were really going to have to be good skidding up through ball screens, and Ryan was going to have to be a little higher, as you saw with some of his dunks, or his blocks that eventually led to dunks. But, for the guys to be locked in, and some matchups that are hard, Jason had some hard matchups at times, Mason, Isaac, Jackson.
Yeah.
Those guys had tough matchups with Lewis, and for them to be able to navigate some of that and really to play good team defense for a whole game like that, I thought was really, really good.
Are you excited to go watch this film of this 45-20 Marquette beatdown since they're coming up next?
All right, we'll worry about that later. We'll let Murph handle that one right now.
Murph's going to handle that?
Yep, yeah.
He's got the scout?
He'll take care of that one, yep.
Oh, nice. I'm going to have to text Murph later and go, so it's 25 points at halftime, Murph. What do you got for this, huh? Wow, that's pretty impressive. I know probably it's a little shorthanded right now, but still. But that's probably expected after their last game, Marquette. I mean,
Marquette's a good team, and they have something.
They didn't play very well their last outing, and
they have something different though that a lot of teams don't have in college basketball. Period. They have a starting lineup of guys that played games together last year. I mean, that starting lineup, they played in Omaha against us, and I mean, that starting lineup was good enough to make the Big East Championship game last year at Madison Square Garden. And then, obviously, they're good players. They're going to get better in the offseason, and they all come back. So, like, yes, they lost Kolek and Iguodaro, but they have a group that knows how to play together, and they all kind of buy into their roles. And it's a really good team. Going to be a really hard game on Friday night.
I thought you were going to say they have something most teams in the country don't have, Cam Jones.
Well, they do have that, too. Really, really good player.
So what was we're talking about Richmond. You know, Austin thinks, you know, he's all world. I always, when I see him first team Big East every year, I'm like, we do such a great job on him. He never plays well against us. So do you have any insight, like, why we are able to do what we are able to do against him? Because you've been around for a while at Seton Hall. Obviously, he was at Seton Hall, now at St. John's. My theory is he's not the greatest outside shooter in the world, but he likes that mid-range. But we keep him, what he really likes to do is get all the way to the hole, and we prevent that.
Yeah, I think, one, he's a talented player. Early on, some of those Seton Hall years, we've done a good job of drawing fouls early on him, and I think that kind of takes him out of the game flow, which has helped us in the past. We didn't do that necessarily today, but yeah, he struggles with his outside shot, and he'd prefer to get to the mid-range area where he is, you know, probably one of the better guards in the country in those mid-range elbow jumpers. And we're trying to go under ball screens on him to beat him to that spot. But we also had some more size on him. I think every game that we've played against him, we've been able to put someone a little bit bigger, whether it was like Trey Alexander or Baylor Shireman did a great job last year.
Yeah.
Jason, I thought, did a good job today. And he's going to make some. He's a talented player. But what we really don't want him to get going is his passing, because he is a really talented passer. And I think the way we play our ball screen coverage in general takes that out and kind of makes him have to be a one-dimensional mid-range scorer. And then we're able to also, you know, put him in some spots on defense that maybe he's not quite as comfortable in. And, you know, from there, it's just a game to game. It's where our guys have it too, right? You're going to play better matchups and worse matchups, and that's just how it goes.
Well, I remember yesterday at practice at one point, Max said, hey, look, number one's bigger than the scout guy. We got him. So you're going to have to get a little more up into him.
Well, I mean, and to your point you just brought up there, like, Sammy Osmani played Kadari all week in practice, and he did an unbelievable job replicating his physicality and his mid-range shooting. And I mean, our entire scout team in general this week, I thought it was maybe our best week of prep coming off Christmas.
I couldn't agree with you more. Like, what other guy in the country? Tell me one other guy in the country in scout team. You go Eric Dixon to Redmond.
Yep. No,
on a scout team.
And he did as good a job doing those as anybody.
And he replicates it too. Like when he was Dixon, what was he doing? He's pounding his shoulder into guys, what Dixon likes to do. Yesterday, what was he doing? He was getting into that mid-range and shooting that shot to get guys to understand that this is what he's going to do. Phenomenal. Like
Lucas said, though, I'll give credit to Murph. Murph is top tier when it comes to knowing a scout.
Murph does do a great job.
Players to playing to efficiency.
And this is the part, people watching, that the normal everyday fan doesn't even think about or see. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, well, he's a walker. Yeah, but the job he's done the last two games, getting this team prepared, unreal.
And even, I mean, you know, like, I think the last time I was on the show, I think he was the player along with it. And, like, you talked to him about it. And, you know, he's very humble and the credit that he takes, but he does a great job of setting the example for everybody as well. He's a fifth-year player that, you know, I mean, guys want to play, and for him to be able to take on that responsibility and to lead the other guys, where now we have a whole scout team of guys that are bought in to doing their job, and it's honestly really cool, and we wouldn't have any chance to win games without him. And even guys that are selfless, like, you know, Mason Miller, maybe hasn't had the best start to the season that he wants to have. But, like, he took some reps on scout team this week, and he did a great job in there as well, replicating what R.J. Lewis is going to do, and the rebounding effort that St. John's, I know, shows. Like, obviously we didn't do as good a job taking care of the ball today as maybe we wanted to. But St. John's offensive rebounding is really what fuels their offense. And, like, we did the best job that I probably could have envisioned at limiting their offensive rebounding, and I would, again, attribute a lot of that to the effort that our scout guys put in this week.
I thought yesterday was one of Mason's best practices, frankly.
Yeah, and I think he had fun, and he was doing he did something selfless that a lot of people wouldn't be willing to do.
Right. And the other thing, again, the average fan doesn't see, yesterday, worked so hard on rebounding, and it paid off. Not only that, worked a ton on rebounding free throws, right? There was a ton of practice just with that alone, and I think it all paid off. I mean, I thought the job we did on the boards today was phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, you asked me earlier about our defensive game plan, and obviously, like St. John's, they're going to get shots, and our defense doesn't force a lot of turnovers, so teams are going to get shots, but like I said, St. John's, their offense is really their offensive rebounding. And for us to control the boards enough that we did, even though we turned it over more than we wanted to, like that's where the game was won. And that's why it was, even though we didn't score as many points as maybe we do in some games, like that's why we were able to win the game, because we didn't allow St. John's to get second, third opportunities.
I can't tell you the number of times people around me tonight said, yeah, that's why that guy is Big East Defensive Player of the Year. He made some really big stops in there, some big blocks in crucial moments.
Yeah, he leads a team, and you know everyone's going to follow his example. And when you're the best player on the team, the leader of the team, and also one of the most humble guys on the team, like he's been consistent for however many years it's been, and whether he has a good game or a bad game. And when he has a game like tonight that he did, everybody else raises their level of play as well. And that's what leadership is. Leadership is understanding the responsibility you have to go out there and, do your job, but also inspire the guys around you. And like what he did tonight was not easy to play a roll man, to block shots at the point of a ball screen like he did multiple times. That is not an easy thing to do. To rebound against Zuby like he did, that's not easy to do. And then to take on the offensive load for almost 40 minutes that he did. Yep. Again, like none of that's easy to do, and he does it as hard as he can and at an elite level.
Yeah. We had a chat on this earlier, and I just want to explain to people. Coach Pitino came out on Twitter about 10 days to 2 weeks ago and said, look, my team is not going to do handshake lines the rest of the season. Too many bad things are happening. I mean, editorial comment, just make your team not do the bad things. But anyway, I understand what he's saying. We had almost a little dust up the last game. I get what he's saying. Just, let's be like the NFL or NBA and just go. If you want to hug somebody you played AAU ball with, go ahead and do it. But we're not doing it. Did Coach Mack let everybody know that there wasn't going to be the traditional line tonight?
After the game, we just said, it's nothing personal. And I don't think any of us have an issue with it. And we played a great game against a really good team. And that team, St. John's, they've lost 3 games now, all by 1 possession. And I think Coach said earlier in the week that they could be undefeated and a top 5 team in the country right now. And you're looking at wins over.
Tell them.
Not even close.
but from a record standpoint, you're looking at wins over Baylor, over us on the road.
Team
Georgia.
did nothing to enhance.
We'll just see how it plays out.
Enhance their seed list on my bracket. Let's put it that way.
It's a very talented team, and they're regardless of what you say, or if you're undefeated at this point of the year, and like I said, it's close possession games.
Florida's undefeated too, but they haven't played anybody. St. John's really hasn't beat anybody yet.
But regardless of
I'm not going to argue with you, but I'm just saying.
We played a good team, and I think we competed.
It was a big win.
Competed
had to have this win.
Had to have this win.
Had to have it.
We'll take it for what it is.
We had to have it, right?
We sure did.
Because now we come to a tough stretch, as we mentioned, with Marquette.
Yeah, Big East isn't an easy league. There's no off nights. Georgetown showed what they did to us, and DePaul is.
I think Georgetown's
really
going to be better than people think, actually.
There's no team that you can go and say this is a win.
No.
And you can't chalk up anything. If you're not playing hard, if you're not ready to go on any night, you're probably going to lose. And I think for us, what we've had to do as a team is just realize you try to realize the value of every possession, but you got to realize there's a value of every game. And if you take a night off, if you don't respect your opponent, then it's not going to go well for you, and you could look really bad doing that as well. Mm-hmm. And I think for us to just take some pride in who we are and to go out there and show that we belong on the floor with a team like that, and they can't just push us around. Yep. That's what we're trying to do, and that's what we got to keep proving to other people.
Mm-hmm. A football coach I respect a lot. Just this game, let's go 1-0 in this season. This game we're playing. That's all we got to worry about. Let's just take them one at a time. Lucas, you need to get in the film room because this looks tough.
We'll get to it.
27 at halftime. You better get in that film room and show these guys, what needs to be done to shut these guys down.
We'll get to it.
All right, buddy. Thanks so much.
Yes,
Really
sir.
appreciate it. You're the best. That's Lucas Vargas. Let's talk about Discount Window and Door of Omaha. Tremendous sponsor this year. A trusted reputation with years of experience in the industry and a solid reputation for excellence. They have earned trust and loyalty of homeowners that separates them from other window companies in Omaha and the surrounding area. Count on them for reliable service, quality products, unmatched professionalism from start to finish. Hey, they put new windows on my house, and they look fantastic, and the energy it's saving me each and every day is great. The old ones on the left, you can see they were chipped, broke. The other ones look fabulous. So check them out today. That's Omaha Window and Door. Discount Window and Door of Omaha. Fabulous sponsor. I want to thank John and the whole crew over there. And now it's time for the player profile today. Mr. Isaac Trout. How you doing, buddy?
Great. How are you?
Let's get this out of the way. Do you know about this golf league, this professional team league? Have you heard about this?
No.
See, there's so many people. They're doing such a horrible job of promoting this thing. It's TGL. Look it up.
TGL. Okay.
It starts next Tuesday, a week from tonight on ESPN. It's Rory, Tiger. There's 6 4-team guys.
Oh,
okay.
Nice.
They're playing in an arena. They have on one end a simulator that's 24 times the regular simulator. Like it covers the entire.
Okay.
And they have a artificial tee and a grass tee. So they're under 130, they can hit off the grass. And then they have a green at the other end that rotates where they can set different pins. And this is going to be phenomenal. And the PGA's done a horrible job of promoting this. I talked to a guy earlier, biggest golfer you ever want to know, and he knew nothing about it. This is going to be
Tiger Woods operation, though.
Yeah, this is going to be but I mean, it's PGA guys. There's no live guys. It's all PGA, but it's the top. Other than Scotty, every top PGA guy is involved in this, and it's like they haven't promoted it. The only reason I know, I listen to iHeartRadio because I listen to Minneapolis Sports Talk a lot, and they talk about it on there. The commercials are nonstop. That's all I knew, and I started looking up. I go, holy crap, this thing's cool.
Yeah.
I think
awesome.
it'll be, and it's on at night. They have a time clock. You'll love it.
Wow.
40 seconds they have to hit a shot,
Wow.
or they get penalized. So, the thing's going to move along. It's not going to be, a guy in his caddy stand there for 2 minutes, Well, anyway, I know. IT's a big golf guy. That's why I have.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's
Me and IT are going to go play this summer.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I like that.
Yeah. We'll bring Chapman. You want to bring Chapman with?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. I'll bring another guy with us. You can go ahead and we can figure something out.
You good stick?
You can just look me up on the gin there.
Oh, I will.
that.
Oh, I'm a big look up people on
you can
gin.
do that.
I'm
You
going to
just
look
do
you
that.
up.
I won't tell you.
Because
but
then
you look it
we'll
up.
pick the teams here because, I'm not going to throw you, I think this guy's a ringer.
okay.
Frankly, I think this guy's a ringer.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say a ringer, but I can get around a little bit.
there you go.
I like that.
Congrats on the win, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
That was a battle.
Yeah, it was a big win.
Did you guys, if I had told you last night, hey, it's going to be, both teams are going to be under 60, would you believed it?
No, definitely not. Yeah, I figured if we were going to win, we'd have to score about 80, 85.
Yeah.
But that's one way to do it.
Yeah. We were talking with Lucas about yesterday at practice, you guys were working so hard on rebounding and it paid off. You beat them on the boards tonight.
Yeah.
That was huge.
That was massive. That's what we had to do to win. That's they're a really physical, athletic team. So to be able to beat them on the boards, that was big.
How's it feel to see a couple go through?
It was good.
Yeah.
It's been kind of frustrating because I feel like I'm doing all the things right. I'm getting extra reps in and shooting it pretty well in practice, but just haven't been shooting it as well as I need to in games. So, need to have a few more games like that to see more go in.
Good for the confidence, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
I know one thing the whole team wants to improve on is turnovers, huh?
Yeah. I mean, they force a lot of turnovers, but
they're long,
a lot of them,
in a lot of positions.
Yeah, a lot
which
of
is
them
unusual.
Were self-inflicted.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a lot of stuff we got to clean up, but they're going to force a few turnovers here and there. So,
But do you think some of it, I know a couple that Steven threw, he was able to throw those last year, and it was you know what I mean with Baylor and Trey, you guys all playing together. Do you think a lot of it's just the new rotations?
Potentially. I think we just got to take better care of it in general. You know, treat it like it's gold every single possession because, you know, if we want to be really good down the stretch, we're going to have to limit those turnovers. I don't know how many we had tonight, but I assume it was close to 20. So
17.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
close.
yeah. So,
Just seemed like 20.
We got to limit that to
you got
like
the dubs,
8
so.
or 10, you know.
Yeah.
Because we're
No,
going to have some
absolutely.
here and there, just playing
and
how fast we do.
we've had some turnover issues throughout the season, and I just think I've said this, it's just there's been so many rotations with injuries and new guys coming in and freshmen, and it's just been on and on and on with different rotations. It's nice having Fedor get a little bit used to what's going on out there, right?
Yeah.
Tonight.
Yeah, definitely. He's a special player. You know, obviously the fans were really excited about him, but you know, it's going to take him time because we didn't know he was going to be cleared at all.
Sure.
So he wasn't getting a lot of reps with the top guys, but he's been doing that the last week. I think he's had a really good week of practice. He's a really good player.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, you got some nice looks tonight. There were some nice rotations that got you open.
Yeah, definitely. Guys did a really good job finding me when I was open, so that's always nice.
And two guys that probably wouldn't go into the season, we probably wouldn't have thought of being tremendous distributors, Fedor and Jemiah.
Yeah.
Jemiah can really find people.
He can, yeah. I bet he had a lot of assists tonight. I haven't looked at the stat sheet, but
Well, let's check it out, buddy.
definitely over 5. He did a really good job.
Let's check it out.
7.
Yeah. 7 assists,
There
yeah.
we go. Yep.
Wow, that's
7 assists, 9 boards.
you know,
Yeah,
crazy.
decent,
You would think if he's going to hit a triple double, the one column would be
Lacking
scoring.
would be
Wouldn't be you have to worry about. But tonight it was 9 rebounds, 7 assists. I thought he did a good job rebounding too.
He
And again,
did,
that gets back to you guys. You know, I was at practice. I don't know if you caught this, but at one point Max said, "Hey, look, there's going to be a collision down there.
Yep.
Every play. You can choose to be the one that gets hit or the one that goes get hit."
Yeah.
And Jemiah goes, "Yeah."
Yeah.
You know, he's like,
Yep.
"Yeah, I like that."
Yep.
And look what happened. 9
yeah.
rebounds.
Yeah, he played great.
So now we're 2-1 in the
Yeah.
conference.
Yep.
Nice start. Had to win these home games. I think this year, the bottom half of the league is way better than people thought.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, we saw that Georgetown, obviously. So it's going to be very important to keep home court.
Yeah. I mean, I was sitting here listening to Lucas saying how, you know, there's no games that we go into where, like, that's a win. Because, you know, DePaul's a lot better this year. Georgetown
We
killed
know.
us.
Yeah, we saw that.
But they're a good team. So there's really no bottom feeders in the Big East. I mean, every single team is plenty capable of winning on any given night. So
And you obviously got to play against that Marquette team last year.
Yeah.
You know how talented they are, Cam Jones.
Yeah, he's a
even
stud.
without calling, Cam Jones is just special.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's a stud.
How did the first semester go?
It was great. Grades were good. I liked my professors a lot.
You're smart. You're a smart guy.
I try hard, yeah.
Yeah.
I try hard. I work hard in school.
tries
so.
hard.
He's
smart.
I mean,
He's smart. He's smart.
That's a smart answer.
And you know what? He's smart. You know why he's smart? Because he tries hard.
Exactly. That's
Right.
fair.
Right.
That's fair.
What's your daily routine like when you're not? When there's no school? Does it throw you off a little bit because you probably have a lot of time?
It is, yeah. I mean, it's nice. You get to sleep in a little bit longer. That's always nice. You get more reps. You get more additional workouts in, which is great because sometimes that's really hard to do with school. You know, you got lift in the morning, 3 classes right into practice. The only time to really get extra work is after practice, and you're probably dead by then. So it's good to get additional work in the morning, additional workouts. So that's definitely a benefit. And then more free time is good too.
What do you guys do as a team or with some of the teammates? What do you guys do to, like, in your spare time during this break?
Yeah, I mean, we go to dinners a lot, not just like the team dinners, you know, that are set in stone night before every game, but also just going out to eat kind of on our own.
So you guys could kind of do a restaurant review then.
I
That's
mean,
what you're
kinda.
saying.
We've been blessed to try a lot of good ones. So,
What's your favorite go-to type of food?
I like steaks a lot. Just kind of being from Nebraska, I feel like we have really good beef. So,
Man, do we have great steakhouses
yeah, we
here.
do. Oh, the best.
You just can't stop. You
Yeah.
think you've hit them all, then you're like,
Yep.
no, you got to go to that place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're really good here.
Yeah. So what game on the road are you looking forward to the most this year? Besides Marquette, because that's the next one.
I think UConn.
Yeah, might be fun.
Yeah, we kind of got stomped there last year, and I don't know, they're obviously really good again, and that's a great program, and the environment. I hopefully play at Gamble. I would assume. It's loud in there. It's pretty awesome.
Have you been to both?
No.
Okay.
No. Last year was just Gamble.
Just Gamble.
Yeah.
So okay. Yeah. I just wonder. I haven't been to a game there. I just wonder the difference in, atmosphere.
Yeah.
In Hartford versus Gamble.
Yeah.
Now, when you go to Gamble though, we're way out here in the Midwest. That's way in the East Coast. That campus is kind of in quote unquote, even though it's the Northeast, the middle of nowhere, right? I mean, it's kind of in a wooded area.
Yeah, it's cool. I really like that campus a lot. It's really clean. And it's I obviously being from a not a big city, I prefer it kind of being like that. When we go to New York City, I'm just like, this is way too much going on. So stores is kind of refreshing.
That's crazy. That's crazy. St. John's is in a crazy area. We had to go a couple years ago. Our flight, we were going on a European cruise, and our flight got delayed a day. So the only way we could do it, we had to fly into fly into LaGuardia.
Yep.
Then take an Uber down to JFK and get our next flight, right?
Yeah.
And we hit it right at rush hour. And that's right where the U.S. there's Met Stadium, right where the U.S. Tennis Center is.
Yep.
And then JFK's the next stop, and St. John's is right on this hill right here.
Yeah.
So it's just in a cluster area of traffic. I'm like, I can't imagine, you see some games where there's 3,000 people there, and you're like, well, geez, I understand why.
Yeah.
Who the hell can get to the game?
Definitely.
It's crazy. It's a crazy area right in there. When you get in the big cities, it's like, it's weird how.
Overstimulation.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Overstimulation.
Absolutely.
Who do you like in the football playoffs?
I don't know. I can see Penn State maybe making a run, but Oregon's really good too.
Ooh,
so.
I think they could get beat tonight. I think everybody's looking Boise's the giant killer, man.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm
I think there's a lot of teams.
I haven't seen a lot of them. I'm anxious to see their running back. Well, I know you're for Texas.
Just going burn orange.
There's another one. There's another game people are way overlooking. Arizona State has been nails all year long.
They've been decent.
That could be a good game
They've
too.
Been decent.
Tell people what it's like to play in the Garden.
It's crazy. It's like a different feel. You feel like you're kind of on a stage performing at a concert, if that makes sense. Like the lights are just so bright.
Yeah.
You can't really see the crowd. It's just like a big stage. Is kind of what it feels like compared to other arenas.
Do you guys got a chance to walk around in there a little bit? Or do you just go in, practice, leave right away?
I mean, kinda. But when we go out to shoot arounds and stuff, there's all the the pictures in the halls of all the people.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, of all the people that have
unbelievable.
performed there.
You go and you see all the Ali fights that were there.
Yep.
You see these concerts from back in the 60s, the Beatles. I mean, you go around.
Yeah.
It's so cool the way they did that. The thing I had never really noticed there, and I had an opportunity to look at it this year in the Wednesday night games when I went in there, was there is a ring around the top, okay?
Yeah.
And there's it's like a sweet bar area. And you are standing there, I think it would really be cool for hockey. You're standing there and you're looking right down on the court and you turn around and there's people behind you because they're in the upper deck, but they can see under that ring you're standing on. Incredibly unique experience that it just blew me away when I looked at it. It's like, wow, this is incredible. You turn around and I'm sure those people are looking up oh yeah, you're up there, and they're looking down there.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
State of the art.
Yeah, unbelievable. Do you like New York in general though? When you've been there?
I would never live there. And it's just too busy.
A little bit
for
different
me.
in the middle of Nebraska, huh? Just a slight bit.
But I mean, it's cool to go for 2 or 3 days. It's cool to see. I like to travel, so it's nice.
Yeah. Where's your favorite place to travel?
Probably Hawaii. I've only been there twice, but I love it.
Where have you gone in Hawaii?
Maui both times, and then Honolulu.
Oh, you went to Maui.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
And then Honolulu.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Honolulu's more of a city.
Yeah, it is. It is. No
but,
doubt.
I mean, it's nice there. It's really nice. Stayed at a nice spot. But I kind of like Maui more because it's, more low-key. I just like to, go to the beach and chill and not do anything. So.
We might be heading out there in like a month to the Big Island. My wife's friend has a place on the Big Island.
Okay.
Totally different where all the volcanoes and stuff are. Like you could, last time we were there, you could see like the glowing.
Yeah.
There's a golf course that's right up by the huge volcano.
Oh, really?
It's like not even 5 miles from the volcano. Like
Okay.
when we're playing, I looked up, I could see the smoke from the volcano.
Have you played Kapalua on Maui?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. When we played the Maui.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice. We went there for a brunch, but we didn't play it. I didn't have my club.
That's a beautiful place, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we went there for breakfast one morning too.
Yeah.
I want to tell you something. Yeah, it's right up there with one of the tougher courses I ever played. Like
Really?
It's way because you see the pros shoot 28 under par.
Yeah, they eat it up.
Oh my God, it's pretty tough because you have a lot of funky lies, a lot of downhill lies.
Okay.
Like the first hole, probably most underrated. I saw on Twitter the other day, somebody said, "What's the toughest first hole?" And somebody put that hole, and I said, "I kind of agree because your second shot is downhill over that ravine to a green." You can't miss that shot, and there's a lot of shots like that, but the views are just phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
But that last hole, as long as you hit it solidly, you end up in the same place no matter who's long, who's short. It just rolls down that hill forever. And a guy can hit it 300 yards, and it's not going to roll that much. A guy can hit it 200 like me. It rolls all the way down to the same place.
Yeah.
Because it's just straight downhill. It's an incredible place. So, Jesus, I'm glad you went to brunch there because it's, God.
Yeah.
I had some great food there. Well, Isaac, thanks a lot. Love talking to you, man. We are going to set up that golf this summer. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're going to do this. And we're going to do a whole report on Bluejay Banter about the golf. We're going to take videos. We're going to, this is going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, man.
Yep.
All right. Best luck rest of the season. Keep knocking them down, man.
Sir.
I knew there.
Right.
I keep telling people, you don't hit the rim in practice. You hit nothing but net shot after shot. These are going to start falling, and they
gotta
are.
do it in games every time.
Yeah, well,
We broke the seal tonight.
Yeah.
it is a little different in a game,
Yeah,
right?
it is. Yeah.
Just slightly. Yeah. All right. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Isaac
Appreciate it.
Trout joining us.
Congrats.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Sponsored by Care Minders Home Health Care. We love their support all season long. If you're injured, ill, or seeing a loved one needs help, go to caremindersnebraska.com and check out all they have to offer. Jim and his staff do a wonderful job over there, so check them out. That's Care Minders Home Health Care. And once you check out their website, you can give them a call any day, 402-532-1383. Thanks so much, Care Minders, for your support of Bluejay Banter, support of the Jays, and so we can have wonderful people like Isaac on our show. Isaac's great to talk to.
Great
Oh,
guy.
I'm so excited.
Great guy.
We got this golf. I'm so looking forward to this now.
Yeah.
By the way, Marquette's up 26 now.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one.
Woo!
On the road, it's always tough to play there. I feel like
I
we've
gotta
never
hand it
had
to
a good game away.
Shaka, man. I thought without Kolek, because Kolek did so much distributing for them,
Yeah.
they haven't missed a beat, man. And when you look at their resume of who they've played, it's impressive. It's impressive what they've done.
They have a great fan base too, though, man. And that's
Oh, sure. And hey, look, we talked about this. I'm going to do a thing over at BluejayBanter.com. By the way, if you don't join now. I'm going to do a thing over there in about a couple of weeks where I've got this chart figured out. Like, okay, for you to be successful in the Big East, you're going to have to win one of 3 or 4, depending on who you are, against the top 4. St. John's, Creighton, Marquette, UConn. At home. You're going to have to win one of those.
Yep.
And then on the bottom 7, you can lose to 2 on the road, but you got to cover everything else, home and away. Or you can lose 2 at home. I'm sorry. You can lose 2 at home. But so the rest of it you got to cover,
Yep.
So because right now it's hard to tell like who really is in the lead because the schedules are so unbalanced. I'd say right now Marquette probably is because didn't they go into Xavier and win 2, and now they're winning on the road at Providence, another tough place to win? I mean, that's pretty impressive. You know, we've gone into Georgetown. You know, to line it up. UConn, on the other hand, has struggled so far in their Big East games. I mean, they've been really close. They could have gone either way. So, in a couple weeks, I'm going to do that on BluejayBanter.com, and you can kind of see, I'm going to do a plus or minus thing. Okay, this team's one ahead or this team's one behind of where they should be. They're going to have to steal a win here, there, whatever. Because I don't think people realize it's going to be that kind of a season where we probably didn't think it was. We thought, kind of the top four would kind of separate themselves, but that bottom seven is better. Teams like Villanova, Georgetown now we got to consider, right? So I think there's going to be Xavier. I think is still.
I'm still throwing St. John's in there too.
No, I'm saying St. John's in the top four. They're in the top four. No. Despite my earlier comments, I wasn't totally dissing them.
Are you still?
I was worried that they were way above us, and now that not way above us, but above us,
right?
Because we're going through some stuff here, right? Without Pop, I thought they're above us. After a day, I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with that.
The way we played all season, right at home, for the most part, we take care of business at home for the most part, other than Nebraska stinker, right?
But which obviously we've covered. When you played, that would never happen.
Yeah, but they're starting to find a groove definitely at home, and I think to Coach's point, it's hard to win on the road. It's going to be hard to win on the road. We might go to DePaul and have a scare, and
I think
walk away with
somebody's
going to
somebody's going to get upset at DePaul this year. I'll mark that down. Somebody is going to.
Seton Hall.
Well, no, Seton Hall. That won't be an upset. They're the worst team in the league.
That's okay.
I'm talking maybe Villanova. Providence already won there. Barely won at DePaul. That was their only win. Villanova, Xavier, St. John's. Hope not Creighton. Maybe not Marquette, but maybe I can see UConn struggling there or whatever. One of those teams is good. Somebody's going to lose down in DePaul because Holtman's there, and they're much improved.
Right.
I mean, they again didn't play anybody in the non-conference, so now you're seeing them not maybe have the success they did in the non-conference. But I can see that happening. Butler's always going to win a couple at home that they shouldn't.
That's a tough place to play.
Yeah, it just is.
Yeah.
What makes it so tough to play?
The old school feel, all the history behind it. The fans are, they're respectable, but they can be a little obnoxious. And then the floating basket aspect, right? I think just does something with depth perception that most people don't take into account.
That's the one thing that I always pointed to when I asked players.
And you're on a stage.
Current players, former players. I said, does the background, because every other place other than St. John's you play in the Big East is a big, huge arena.
Right.
And you have that depth perception. There, it's close. I mean, those fans on the end line are, even in the second deck, are 20 feet from the basket at most, right? And then they have that plexiglass up there that reflects. Right. It's all kind of goofy stuff. I always thought that was. A lot of people told me no, but you think that's certainly a factor.
It's kind of known to like being a shooter's gym too, right? So like it's kind of being like that old school high school feel of being in a small gym.
Totally.
But when we're playing in these arenas and things, you kind of get used to something else, and then you only get a couple days of practice or 1 or 2 days of shoot around in there. It's not a long adjustment really.
Because a couple years ago we went there we did our show there. And the day before, I knew the SID, so he gave us a tour. Mm-hmm. So they were going to have like a women's practice or something afterwards. There's a rack of balls, and me and Robbie just go, hey, where did they go? We got to put some shots up, man. And we're putting some shots up, and I'm like, doesn't this feel like a gym, like in high school? You're playing at these nice new high schools and stuff, and then you go into one of these old gyms, and you feel like you can run up and down the court all night long. That's the way Hinkle feels to me, and I'm like, gosh, why does this?
A little bit smaller, and then you're on the stage. But it's got a different feel to it, I think.
And I'm always like, why do teams struggle so much here? It's crazy. I can get like we always play that noon game Eastern time, and the sun.
That
comes in.
That is right. I even
Which
think that
makes me,
my senior year,
growing up on a farm, it reminds me of being in the hayloft shooting baskets where the sun's shining in. And that, I think, affects
That's
teams
true
too.
home court advantage there.
Yeah, yeah. And it's odd because there's hardly any seats on the end and everything on the side goes way up. And I don't know if you had a chance when you were there, but you go around, there's pictures. It's kind of like Garden, there's pictures. Originally, they had the court the other way.
What do you mean?
So there was tons of people on the end, but nobody on the side. And I think somebody figured out, well, wait a minute, this is terrible the way it's set up. Initially, when they built it, that's the way they meant it to go. And
now that makes a little more sense now as I think about it anyways.
Yeah. You know? But it's just it's just so cool.
A lot of history behind it.
And pregame, it's so neat. First of all, they had the best fight song in all the Big East. Not even close. Secondly, the Bulldog comes running out. It's just mass chaos. And there's not a lot of room. Like, there's not like here where there's a big exits going on. There's like a little tiny tunnel, and people are running around the cheerleader. It's just there's people everywhere, and it's mass chaos.
Yep.
And it's so cool.
Chaos.
It's just nuts.
It's
nuts. I love it. I love it. Let's check out the chat. John says, encouraged by the defense, did you guys see anything that could lead to more open shots for us?
I don't think so. We just got to keep shooting them. My thing is, I think there's times we turn down some when we're not shooting it as well, which has gotten us in some ruts at times. But, our team is what it is, and I think we succeed when we shoot it. And if we're not shooting open ones, then we're more or less doing a disservice.
Jemiah passed up a couple.
Right. But Jemiah, honestly, I think he's at his best when he's playmaking.
Yeah, no, he does. But there was one. There was one, and then he realized he passed up an open three, and then went in and something. I think we had a turnover, whatever. But, I just think, to John's point here, lead to more open shots. If we just cut that down to 10 from 17, that's 7 more possessions.
Absolutely. That alone.
Even the worst run offense, if we get 2 buckets out of that, this is a 7-point game, and we're not sitting here
and let's
worried.
be real, Ashworth won't have 10 turnovers every game.
No.
Not even 5.
But it wasn't just him, man. There was a lot of other guys that turned it over, too.
We had 17 as a team, and that was all in the starting 5. Right?
And Jackson didn't have a particularly good night tonight and turned it over a couple of times, and he got,
He had one. Kalkbrenner had 3, which is
he had to go down to the bench, and and plus there was a few times Jackson missed rebounds. He had it in his hand. He's just got to get stronger. That's all there is to it. But thanks for the chat. We appreciate it. Thanks for other chats. I think we already talked about them. Unsung hero.
I'm gonna have to go with Trout. I think,
You really want him to be your golf partner, don't you?
Well, no, I just think he finally hit some big ones, right?
He did.
And I think we've been kind of
They were big. They were the ones he hit,
too. He's been waiting for, and
especially
put in
in the second
so
half.
much work that, you could feel a relief from everybody, too, right? And I just think that's just going to do some great thing for his confidence.
I don't think he's unsung hero, but people have been really hard on him so far, and that's Mason. And I pointed out to some people, hey, we went on a run when Mason was on the floor.
Yeah. I mean, he does.
Mason brought good energy tonight, and he probably there's probably things people didn't notice defensively. He did.
Absolutely.
Getting
some hands on some balls that maybe changed some 50-50s, and
he was making the right pass.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then like Coach touched on, he had to guard some some positions that maybe he wasn't expecting.
Absolutely.
But yeah, he's kind of had it rough, especially from our fans, and I would like for guys to kind of back off the guy. He's still a kid, and
I think
he does have to perform.
Part of it with the fans is they saw what he did as a freshman, and they just wanted that to go up and up and up and up and up. But he's had injuries. A lot of things have happened.
Injuries, roles change. We're also holding him to this pedestal of his father as well, and that's a high standard, man. That's a really high standard, and so it's like, allow this kid to grow, and I think it's
wait till your kid plays.
Well, I hope it's more of this,
So
really? It's a solo sport.
Nice.
Yeah, but just allow him to play, man, and I think he's just growing through some growing pains that are necessary, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Granted,
no doubt.
Points should be coming, but I think that's something that over time he'll have a little. No,
it was a nice mix tonight because you had Jason with his defense and physicality earlier and getting some hoops inside. You had Isaac hitting the shots, and then you had Mason out there playing some good defense at the end. So it was a nice. I think that's what we want. We want that 4-headed monster at that position. Worst call of the night. I got to say this. I don't know if people notice this, but so we had O'Connell, my good friend, Matt Potter was out there tonight as a ref. And then we had some guy I hadn't seen before, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, pretty good reffing crew. I don't know that third guy. And all of a sudden, onto the court, a minute before the game started, runs Roger Ayers. And I'll tell you, I don't know this story, but I'm telling you exactly what happened. Roger refs more games. He's probably the #1 ref in all college basketball.
Okay.
Number 2, he refs more games. They had a stat earlier, like he took a night off, and they go, this is the first night in 34 nights Roger hasn't refed a game.
Wow.
I'll tell you exactly what happened. He thought, 3 o'clock tip. Okay, I'll take a plane out early in the morning, and I'll guarantee his flight got delayed, and that's why he had to race in here last second. And so then we had Ayers, O'Connell, Potter. That's Final Four refs. I mean, you get that a lot night in the Big East, but I mean, that was a big time ref crew tonight. So that was awesome. Worst call.
I'm gonna say the iffy one with Ashworth, first half, where he got
when he threw it out of bounds,
someone
got basically tackled.
Banged up a little
Yeah,
bit. Yeah,
that's when he hurt his knee.
Yeah.
I think he just hit his knee on the floor is what happened there.
Which, you know, it can go a little both ways. But
I mean,
I would say otherwise. I think it was a fairly decent game. You know,
usually
as
refs will blow the whistle on that
Right.
when they see something like that and the ball go flying out of bounds. He's not going to just, without forcible contact, he's not going to just fall down and throw the ball out of bounds. You know, so it's a little surprised that there wasn't. Totally agree with you on that one. Totally agree with you. I think we're lucky there was no call at the end.
I think so. But I'm all for that. I'm all for that. That's
I
been
mean,
me my
that
whole
happens hundreds of times during the college basketball season.
Oh, that's been me my whole life. I hate when a ref kind of puts a game in his hands, you know, at the end of the day, where it's like, allow the guys on the court to more or less
And
make a
I
play.
forget if it was Kalk and who else, but they were straight up.
Yeah.
They weren't reaching over. They were straight up. And I think we get a little break because
We don't foul.
these are experienced referees and they know we don't foul.
Exactly.
Yeah. Although, like I said, for the most part, we had more fouls than St. John's the second half, which is pretty surprising because typically St. John's is a team people say, hey, they get away with some fouls. So I was surprised at that we had more fouls. But
They also don't shoot it well from the stripe.
no.
So,
Well,
I think
I
that
don't
could've
like
been part of
Richmond's. I don't like his motion at the line.
that. A lot of them have a little weird kind of hitch in that thing.
Their
and
big guy
that's-
actually had the best motion.
Yeah, well,
He
yeah.
had a nice shot.
Yeah,
He had a
got
nice
fluid.
looking
It's
shot.
fluid. It's
I can
fluid.
see him being a real factor. For instance, more of like a Dixon type guy who can step out and hit those shots.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's where the game stepped
Yeah.
into too. But
Yeah. All right, that's Unsung Hero and Worst Call of the Night. And we want to thank you for tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We need just a few more subscribers to hit our first tier, so make sure you do that. Tell your friends, family to do it. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year, buddy.
Yes, sir.
And we will see you next Friday night. It's coming up
Next Friday.
fast. What's today? Tuesday? Yeah. 3 nights.
Yeah.
We're going to have a couple road games. We're not going to have a home game here for like 2 weeks now.
Right.
But we'll
It's
be
gonna
here.
Be a big test for us.
We'll be we'll be here after that Marquette game. So hey, never know. Matt can come up with some great game plans.
He's a great chess player. Yeah, I love it.
And this is giving him a great, Lucas, a great film study here with a team because obviously everything's going right for them today. So it's a better film study than the game they get beat by 20, right? So check it out. Friday night, right after the game. Join us right here on YouTube. And thanks so much. Everybody, Happy New Year. Enjoy the playoffs tomorrow and tonight. And we'll